that's all from Tampa. Visit Chevy.com to see why the first ever Silverado ZR2 could be your top pick.
Yeah.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know.
What? Kevin Hart's
Kevin, you can use your phone.
What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
Seductive, irresistible, yet forbidden, pretty.
The new fragrance that says Subway has so much new, it didn't fit in their last ad. So they bought time and mind to talk about hearty multigrain bread.
Freshly baked,
It smells so good. I can almost taste it.
but you don't eat bread.
After the game, an all-new Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Jay Baldwin will be there tonight. Plus, they'll perform on the Tonight Show right after the game tonight on NBC. Hillsborough River, Tampa, Florida, 80 degrees tonight. All things considered and dry. Randy Pinion will kick off. He led the league in touchbacks last season. That was a good thing. He powered back deep because when he did not put it into the end zone, Tampa Bay's return unit gave up about 34 yards per clip, which is pretty bad. Touchback here, we got Michelle.
Wow, because of the injury to his right lat, Dak has a new pregame routine to prepare the rotator cuff and the surrounding muscles to grow. His physical therapist, Luke Miller, told us it's like a pitcher's pregame routine, emphasizing range of motion, stretching, and activation of the shoulder injury. The bands of weighted balls add resistance while promoting grip strength. And again, his injury is rare in football, quite common among baseball pitchers. Thus,
Flipping those hips as you flip around career in pregame. Good thoughts. It's not the 36-yard line. Muhammad back up to Ellie, who may see more action this year.
I think they want a little more balance out of these two backs. Don't forget 17 games, so running backs take a pretty good beating during the course of the year. But that guy right there, Ezekiel Elliott, everyone to a man has been talking about how much better shape he is in, how movement skills they're seeing from him as a receiver.
This is not going down. He's going to work his way out close to the new daddy. Had a baby last week. His wife and Michael welcoming in a child. 44-yard line. Second down and 2.
Good to have big Blake Tarwin, the tight end, back in front. Here on this play, when you have a tight end blocking your quarterback, you feel pretty good about it. Back getting the ball out of the team. That's the drop pass. Really stop that first drive along with that penalty.
Second and 2. First guy under pressure. Fires right on the money, and it's got to get to the 44-yard line. Goes Michael, third-round pick out of Colorado State back in 2018.
They're getting a little bit closer now to Dak Prescott. Let's take a look at that motion. Back foot still coming up off the ground. We were wondering if anything would look different in his throwing motion, but he's gotten pretty close to what we've seen in the past.
Starts 6 out of 9. Now they're back into the huddle again.
Yeah, now they got both backs in the backfield, Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. With Pollard out wide.
He comes back in now, and they flip it to him. He fakes the flip to Cooper and turns in a decent run.
Cowboy offense looks pretty decent.
36-yard line. The play looked like it would be slimy to the backfield. Instead, he gets to the 36. And
Cowboy offense looks decent.
Yeah, he didn't fake a flip. I thought he was going to throw it in the bleachers from here. Watch this fake. I like that. A little flare.
Down that play with a sexta.
There you go.
Second down and 3. Prescott rolling and looking and throwing, and the pass along the sideline caught.
Wow.
Inbounds. Gallup. 3 grabs on this drive, and that moves the sticks. First down. Take a look. Let's see who's in. Control.
You've seen a few tokens.
That's a great catch.
In this stadium, haven't
Oh, yeah. Santonio Holmes.
you? And that clear down there.
Super Bowl, Pittsburgh, Arizona, back in the 08 season. Into the outside. That's caught to the 22-yard line.
Bucks are having a tough time, man, dealing with that.
Last year, and then on opening night, Sunday Night Football in Los Angeles, first game in SoFi Stadium, gone for the season.
And now he's really been the vertical threat on this offense. But you have to give credit to Dalton Schultz, who came in after him and had a career year for him. But now both of them back. And it was good to see Dak on that one, getting out on the bootleg and making a throw on the run.
Prescott's now thrown for over 100 yards. 1:45 to go in the opening quarter. Here comes the blitz. Fake throw. Prescott hands it.
Touchdown.
And Lamb is as the field just looks at it. A touchdown. C.D. Lamb. 22 yards to cap a 75-yard drive. And next point away from tying the game.
The old Baker-Ruski, they're going to fake a screen. Here comes the quarterback, Sean Murphy bunting, and then right by him for the touchdown. Double check. Looks like it. So you made up for that drop. I'll tell you, this has been some creative offense.
Dude.
You can tell that these two teams had plenty of time to prepare for each other.
Of course, the Cowboys in particular showing
They do look good.
preseason. That's Murphy Bunting who got hurt. He got beaten on the play. A guy who had 3 interceptions in postseason last year, a big postseason star, but they work on him. Injury time.
There's something in the air. I love the silence. There's something coming. I feel it pulls. Something dark. It's just beginning. It all starts now. It all starts now.
One evening, let's go, Walker. Went down. That's you. The fire was burning. Down the back and boys, I'm not turning. I'm headed for a land that's far away.
It's a multi-flex.
Chris, you there?
It can be a step. It can become a workspace. What's so great about it? They didn't have a workspace.
The Chevy Silverado with the available multi-flex tailgate. Find new adventures.
I can't hear you.
Chevrolet.
Welcome back, football fans. We'll see you in the fridge.
They look good, dude. Where's George Sedano doing radio play-by-play? I hate that guy. No way. George Sedano, he is such an awful human being. I hate that guy beyond everything. Man, I just hate that guy. He did everything he could to undermine me in Miami. Oh, I hate that guy. He's such an awful human. Oh, he's such a piece of shit. Unbelievable. Completely. My wife said it too. Get this, dude. My wife wanted me to resign when he got the PD job at QAM. She said, you should resign. He's an asshole. No, he really is. I mean, I've nothing. Like, dude. I go out of my. There's few people I go out of my way. Anybody ever asked me? He's the worst human being. One of the top 3 worst human beings I've ever worked with. Look at all the partners he's had. ESPN has not been able to put a person with him because everyone hates working with him. Tell you what, man, hey, watch this. Kaplan is just out for himself. He don't really mean anything. You know, I mean, Scott is Scott. You know, Scott's got a sinister side about himself, but I'm all for Scott. It's all good. He's just trying to do the best he can. You know, the whole 1090 thing hosed us all. So, you know, it's all good. I mean, I'm not friends with him, nor would I want to be. But I mean, I have no, like, watch this. Box of rocks means nothing to me. I could care less what he's doing. Scott works hard, though, dude. Scott works hard. He does. But you know what his nickname was at Pitt? Ryder. Why do you think they called him Ryder at Pitt? He'll never tell you this, but everybody knows his nickname. You know why they called him Ryder? Because it's one way. Those are his Pitt teammates that called him that. Many ways, yes. Just keep running that ball. Yeah, because they know you're my boy. I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about Scott Kaplan. Yeah, hey. No, I don't. My work is done. Now it's the fun part. You see, Chris just said something funny. And you know what it really is? It shows you this here too. You know what it is, folks? You do this. You put all your work in during the day. And when game time comes, that's the fun time. Yeah. Okay, Junior. Yeah. Look at the Bucks. I'll tell you what, man. The Cowboys are playing good. Cowboys. What are you shitting through feathers on a limb? Oh, I have. Mhm. Well, do you know here was the story that they were going to trade DiMaggio for Williams, but then the Red Sox said this. You know that rookie you have by the name of Barra? Why don't you throw him in the mix? And the Yankees said, no way. And so they were, because look, can you imagine DiMaggio at Fenway with that green monster? He'd have hit 500. Can you imagine Williams with that that right field porch in New York? He'd have hit 600. Right. So they were, both of those guys were in the wrong park. And I'll even put one out there for you too. Can you imagine if Willie Mays didn't play in the Polo Grounds and at Candlestick, and he played in the places that Aaron played in Milwaukee and also in Atlanta? He'd have hit 700 home runs also. Like, can you imagine A-Rod at Fenway? Wow, he'd hit 65 home runs, 70 home runs. Or how about McGuire at Fenway? So said Fenway. He's not in those guys' league. He did have a 50 home run season, though. No, he was a power hitter, but not like those dudes. McGuire was sick. I mean, I think McGuire played 1 year. He played 80. You know, McGuire held that home run record forever until Judge broke it. He had 49 bombs his rookie year. And there was a rain out. He did hit 50, but it was a rain out, and the home run was taken from him. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Pete Alonso also broke it. Hey, Chris, thank you so much for Mike Quick. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, but you know what? I hated blowing up the Bruce Arians interview, but you're right. It's not timely anymore. I only thought there were two. Sorry about that. By me? Oh, Jesus. I bet you $100, man. It's hot as balls there, man. Oh God, yeah. The humidity must be nuts. Cold in Dallas? Hey, Chris, do you have sciatica? Hey, I'm having trouble with it on my left side, really horribly. Like it just popped up the last. What's it from? Because I did a long car drive about 4 days ago. Could that have been it? I don't wrap anything up, Junior, unless it's a taco. Sure does, man. You're in the best place on the planet for tacos. I know. Flip a coin, right? Texas, California. Whew. They are the best here in San Diego. Okay. It's football season. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio. Hope everyone is having a spectacular day. I love starting my days out asking you that, and maybe so much more telling you that. You should always have a great day. Happy hour of radio right here on the Dan Sileo Show. We thank you so much, as I say. And then, by the way, if you're now watching the game, we're going to kind of give you a little play-by-play. I love doing that, by the way. Okay? I love doing that, you know, as we watch, because it's Buccaneers and Cowboys tonight. And I got to tell you, right now it's 7-7, and they're in the beginning parts of the second quarter. I got to tell you, Cowboys look good. Dak Prescott looks good. And the most important thing, did you see all the fans in the opening segment? Raymond James is packed. It is absolutely packed. And all the Corona pimps must hate this tonight. Oh, my God. You see the football fans again? Just like they did last weekend with the college game. And all the great college fans bringing Americans all together again, no matter what the politicians are saying. And by the way, everything that Joe Biden said today was not followed at Raymond James tonight. It's almost like it fell on deaf ears. Completely fell on deaf ears tonight. There's 75,000 fans at Raymond James tonight, sitting right next to each other, having a nice beer. Mandating. I could have swore I heard that guy in the campaign a year ago say there'll never be mandates when it comes to vaccinations. This guy lies more than anybody I've ever seen. That's why I don't believe him anymore. I don't believe that guy. Everything he said on the campaign trail, he's lied about. And by the way, the guy before him, same thing. All these guys. I don't trust them. That's why I trust the football fans. Oh, no. You think I'm going to, like, stump for Trump? No, they're all liars. I saw the fans, though, last weekend. Camp Randall up in Wisconsin. I saw, like, in Blacksburg tonight, Raymond James, Tampa. Everybody's having a great time. Everybody is having a spectacular time. So good. I believe there's a pick now, and the Buccaneers now are now down on the 30 of the Cowboys. So this is going to be, I mean, now there's a flag, and also we'll keep you up to date like that. But football is here, man. This is the ultimate aphrodisiac for every single American that is sick and tired of tuning on your news. And how about this? And dealing with what I said a couple minutes ago. Jesus criminy. Let's just have a good time. Let's just totally have a good time. Okay? Football is so awesome. Okay? Hey, oh my God. Steven on my YouTube channel just pointed this out. And by the way, as you know, I don't take calls. But what I do is if you drop something on my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show, or you're on one of my social media platforms, I'll always throw, because you guys have taken the time to join me, I always throw out what you say, and he goes like this: Dan, they will use this to attack politically the NFL. Why do you think the National Football League is so entrenched in making sure mandates and vaccinations are a major priority? You know why? They're trying to appease both sides. You got to remember something. The owners in the NFL, 99% of them are conservative Republicans, but their fan base are Democrats, most of them. Okay? Working Americans, middle class, upper middle class now, because the tickets are so expensive. It's not lower class, it's more middle class Americans. These are your Democrats. The Democrats fill the stands. And by the way, Owners are going to play the Jordan role. Republicans buy and Democrats buy tickets too. So Stephen's right. They're going to placate both sides. Did they have the Black National Anthem tonight too? I didn't see it and I didn't really care. It was great to hear the national anthem and see the jets fly over because, as you know, Central Command is right there in Tampa. It's so important to know that our military people are being honored. Trevor says, no, they didn't play the Black National Anthem. And for the record, I don't really even know what that is. And I've never heard that there was one. So I don't mean to sound ignorant on that, but I've actually never heard it. And I only heard one, so it was cool. I heard the national anthem. Great. But I can't even believe I'm even bringing that up because, quite frankly, I could care less about that. So seeing what we're watching tonight, and I mean when I say seeing what we're watching, the fans, people are in Dallas, Texas right now at AT&T Stadium in the parking lot, sitting next to each other watching the Cowboys as they play the Bucks tonight. Dude, everything the government's telling you, they're going, I don't care what you're saying. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing any of that. And these are the fans that are in the stands that are not going to segregate 80 million Americans. That speech today was like aimed at 80 million Americans in our country. And for the record, I think, didn't Joe Biden basically admit the vaccinations don't work? If you tell me that if you're vaccinated and you have to wear, and you're concerned about 80 million Americans that don't have the vaccination, well, you must not be too comfortable then that the vaccinations work. I mean, am I wrong? Or is there a new variant to this? Oh, what was it called? Oh, Delta. That's right. I'm sure there'll be a Delta 2 or something, or Delta 10, whatever. I'm just saying. You kind of like, if you're already vaccinated, why do you care if someone else isn't? Oh, but you can still catch it. Okay, well, that means to me, then it doesn't completely work. Isn't that common sense? I mean, I'm not playing doctor here, nor do I want to, and nor am I going to make my show out of that. I'm going to scoot off that here in a minute. Promise you. But I'm just saying, if you're telling me you're concerned about the non-vaccination and you're vaccinated, aren't you telling me that you're not real sure about the 2 shots that you've taken? Anyway, I'm just glad everybody's back in the building. And I'm glad people are following their conscience and not following what other people are telling them. That's what I'm glad. And hey, and for the record, I'm talking to you and keeping an eye on it. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight because this game, and I'll bury the lead on you here. I still think this game's going to be a blowout, but you got a lot of high energy in the building now. I think it's going to be a 38-10 game. All that being said, Cowboys are playing pretty decent right now. Brady's playing in his 300th game tonight as a starting quarterback. Let me ask you something. We brought this up last night, and we had a lot of fun last night talking about Derek Jeter, Yankee stuff, baseball, all-time greats. Have you ever in your life seen anybody play at this level for this extended period of time? He's starting his 22nd year tonight, Tom Brady. It's utterly remarkable. You know, they're talking about him having an MVP candidate season this year. Like, he's one of the favorites. I think it's 14-1 with the Vegas dudes that potentially he could, win this MVP award. That's remarkable. 44 all-time regular season win guy, all-time postseason win. I'll tell you this. I heard something from Aaron Rodgers today, the quarterback of the Packers. Let me throw this at you here. You know he's starting his season. Follow me here on this, everyone. Well, there's a lot of unknowns this year. This is Aaron Rodgers talking. There's a lot of unknowns this year. So, we're just going to have to work through them. It's a football team that's 26-6 over the last 2 years, and it's gone to 2 straight NFC championship games. And here he is going, well, there's a lot of unknowns going into the season. What does that mean? What a crappy-ass attitude. What an absolutely crappy attitude. I don't want to hear my starting quarterback going, we got a lot of unanswered questions to figure out here. And we'll just I hate that attitude. I just hate the way he approaches the game. He's like, it's like, we'll see if we can figure. Brady's like this. Did you see if you go over to his Twitter, he's got this. LFG. Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's, go. 22. That's because this is his 22nd year. Man, I love that. He's the ultimate 1-0 athlete, and I say this to you all the time, that I've ever seen. This guy doesn't give a crap what the hell he's doing. By the way, touchdown Gronk, Buccaneers 14-7, and you can tell, yes, indeed, I'm a Buccaneer. I did play with the Cowboys too, but I'm a Buck. Gronk is going to have a great year this year. And his security blanket, Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski being in that huddle with Brady, I mean, it just resonates to everybody else in the locker room. I was talking to Bruce Arians a couple days ago, and Bruce Arians said, this guy goes around and he's so good with teammates. And you know what he said, too, that's even more important? He said this. He is so good with the younger players on the team. Brady didn't have that affordability when he was in New England. You know what really makes me say this sometimes, and I don't know how you guys feel. Watch this. I sometimes hate Tom Brady played in New England. I do. He's a cooler dude. He's got more freedom. He helps the team. He's like a coach on the field. Players expect him to lead. And when he was in New England, they kind of didn't want him to be any of that. Brady just wanted to be part of the game plan. They didn't want him to be part of the game plan. You know why? Because that took the importance away from the coach. Shows you the coach had more ego than you thought. You think Bruce Arians cares who gets the credit in Tampa as long as they're winning? Because the credit will come to you in the end, right? Who the hell wants the credit in the process? I want the credit in the results. Like when you think of New England and the great ownership of Bob Kraft, you think Bob Kraft gives a crap who's got the credit when it comes to winning championships, whether it was Brady or whether it was Belichick? Bob Kraft owns the team. He's got 7 Super Bowl titles. He's got 11 AFC championship rings. You think Bob Kraft cares? By the way, how's Bob Kraft not in the Hall of Fame? How is Bob Kraft not in the Hall of Fame? You're right, Trevor. I backed that up. He's got 6. He's got 6. You're right. And he's also got another AFC championship that Bledsoe led him to. We'll talk more about this Cowboy Buccaneer game. And by the way, are you completely sold that Dak is going to be the guy for Jerry Jones and this Cowboy team? We'll hit on it next. That SoFi Stadium is so dope looking. Look at that thing. Yeah. Yeah. That Las Vegas place looks great. Has Wayne been there? Okay. Okay. Good deal. No, yeah, that's right. 17th? 17th? Dak looks good, man. Cowboys hate wearing those blues. They stuck him in the blues. I know we all hated wearing the blues. Okay. That's pass interference, bro. You can't do that. That's facing. You can't face them. That's facing pass interference. Like you can't face the opponent, and you have to turn your back to the play. This guy Davis, yeah, it's facing. Oh, he's holding him. Okay. Yeah, it sounds to me, it does. Hey, it sounds to me he did. And by the way, if we need another vaccination, that's fine. How many? Sometimes you need more. We needed more polio ones when we were younger, and I'm not. But don't keep changing the game like that. Just stop moving the goalposts and be on. And Chris, really, you know what? Okay, good. Because you know what? I'm not against anything. I've taken 16 vaccinations in my life as an American anyway. But dude, you're moving the sticks on me all the time. That's funny. Yeah. You know what? I love that rule too. I think it should be one. I think it should be 1 foot and 2 in the pros. You'll like this. You'll love this. I love that. You're right. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. My boy Chris just made a great point. Chris O. I love that idea too. And I got another one for you too. You ready? So Chris doesn't like 2 feet in the pros when it comes to tap-toeing it on the sidelines for receivers. And in the college game, you get 1 foot in. I like that. I think he's right. I think you create more offense, and you're going to create more spectacular plays. Here's another great point he just made in my ear. Less replays, which keeps the game moving quicker, and you keep the momentum of the game going. I love that. You want to stop, momentum? Go to replay 100 billion times. You know how sometimes you get those flag-happy referees, and they make these games just crawl on? That's a fabulous way to do it. Here's another rule I wish they would change. You know the spot foul and pass interference? In the pros, you can hum the ball 90 yards down the field. And if you interfere with the receiver, you get the ball on the 2-yard line or the 10-yard line of the opponent. In college, it's only a 15-yard penalty. I like that rule better. It shouldn't be a spot foul, especially with the new rule changes that you have for the wide receiver, where you can barely touch him. You can't hit him. You got targeting. You also have where, a defenseless receiver. I realize that now why they went to this new taunting rule. because the defender has no way of playing defense anymore. You can't hit the guy barely. You've got to kind of corral him and get him on the ground. And what do the receivers do when they make a catch? They get up and they dance in your face. And so now they're going to stop that taunting, because I think it's very difficult to be a defender. I just think it's impossible. That's why that taunting rule. Oh, by the way, before I go into in a little bit here on tonight, again, there's completed pass, but I think there's going to be pass interference on this stuff here. It's a pretty competitive game here between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers early on here, so we'll see what's going on here. But I got into a Twitter war with Terrell Owens. If you go over to my Twitter, T.O. was hammering on me on something, and so here's all I said to him, quite frankly. So Terrell Owens was bringing up something earlier about something. I guess he was on a podcast with Shannon Sharp, and he was asked a question about Donovan McNabb. This story's 20 years old. It's 20 years old. You know what I said? Dude, when are you going to grow up? And he took offense to it. And he went on this diatribe, and he wrote these soliloquies on my Twitter page. So you know what I put? I gave him a baby crying gif. I'm not going into that. I'm not debating with an idiot. I'm not debating with a guy who moans for attention and is an attention whore. This guy completely it's all he. What's happened here is, and I've said this to you guys, you know what's happened to T.O.? He's become irrelevant because he's only defined by being a football player. I'm defined by being a father and a husband. That's how I'm defined. And it makes my life a lot simpler. And it makes my life have a lot more clarity in it. I'm not defined by anything I did in my past or what I'm doing right now. Really, I'm not. It's all about being a dad and the best husband I can be. All right. Hey, this is going out to all my friends in Phoenix. I want you guys to know the Valley Hooters there. This is your one-stop place. Please do me a favor. If you're looking for Cardinal football, Arizona State, Arizona football, this is your place. Fantasy football, guys. Man, they've got the greatest giveaways. They've got parties there for you. This, again, is your one-stop place. Great food. How about the beer specials? $3 Michelob Ultra Light drafts. That's what they have there for you, man. Great stuff. Get to your Arizona Valley Hooters right there in the Phoenix area. And do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you. Great time for all. We will hit more on Cowboys and Buccaneers. You keep it right here on the Sileo Show. Yeah, that was great. How did that sound, Chris? Good. Good. Yeah, I did. I got him here. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I promise you, I'll take that first thing when I get up. Okay? Cowboys are right now at the 11. Oh, yeah, knee down. Well, Ezekiel Elliott just blew up that linebacker. That was a great pickup. Man, I was close to pass interference. He had his hand on his back. If you're the Bucs, do you go for it on 4th and 3 from the 11? No, you kick the fucking field goal, dude. You're on the road. You need all the points. No, he didn't pass interfere. Good. Missed it. Did that suck? Wow. He did, man. I could have kicked that. That's horrible. Wow, man. That is awful. That I didn't think about it until what you just said. Funny, man. Yep. My sciatica is I couldn't stand. And by the way, I had never felt it that hard before in my life on my no, because I'm sitting. It's like when I stand for a long period of time. Yeah, it's you know what the feeling is. At first it feels like it's going to go to sleep, and then these incredibly sharp pains come down my leg. Kim says it's from my back. There's no question it's from my back or my feet because my feet are hard. I broke both my feet. Yeah, I've had knee surgery. See, the problem I have is knee surgeries, and I've broken both my feet. That's funny, man. Actually, hey, you're very funny tonight. Yeah, well, because most of the time you're not. Tonight you are. Uh-oh, may have a play in the game here. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Holy cow. Do we have a fumble? Oh, yes, we do. Buccaneers fumble. Cowboys get the ball. Pick it up. Looks like it could be a 6-point TD return. Yep. Oh, yeah, this is a TD. This game's tied. They ended up missing the field goal, but I think that's a touchdown. Or maybe he was touched. I think they're still figuring it. No, okay, they got the ball back. It's still 14-7. This is a very competitive game. And you got to say this. This is a good thing. And, hey, I'm not into moral victories for the Cowboys. Trust me, I'm not. I never would do anything like that. But you're in a ball game right now. And know this, if you're the Cowboys, the Bucs have the number one run defense from a year ago on the field. And the only way you're going to win games is if that number 21 turns into Emmitt Smith. If he becomes Emmitt Smith this year, the Cowboys can go far. I think it's their first 5 games they got to kind of weather. And after that, the Cowboys could be like a 11-win football team. You know what we're starting to see a little bit with Dak Prescott here a little bit, though, as the game's going on? you're starting to see fatigue, I think, a little bit. You're seeing some underthrows. And what's that from? Well, he hasn't played a football game or a meaningful football game since October 11th of 2020. And remember something, the shoulder was something that was giving him a lot of issues. I'm not saying that he's getting tired in the game. I'm just saying he's got to deal with that part of his game. And now all of a sudden, too, now they had to call a timeout because, again, they're talking about getting the play in on time. That's the sideline. That's coaching right there. Not organized enough. I love the way Bruce Arians just sits on the sideline, and he does as little coaching as he possibly can. Because the majority of your coaching goes Monday through Friday. Okay, in the game, this is on the players' backs now. The players have to take all the intel that you've given them and have to go out there and apply it. That's why, the really great coaches don't coach you on the sidelines. They tell you tendencies of what's going on in a game, and they'll ask you what's going on in a game. They'll coach you on Monday. They'll coach you during the week. They don't coach you like in the game. Well, hey, you got to get your head. Nobody does that. That's good. Cowboys are sitting right now at the 26-yard line. Pretty good, man. 5:37 left in the second. Dak Prescott, and I teased going into this. I said this about Dak. Cowboys are moving now down to the 11. Let me throw this at you here. I said this earlier, and I was actually talking to Bruce about this. Bruce Arians, the head coach of the Bucs. Jerry Jones had to sign him. Do we all agree? You know what? I think people are looking at this because I get asked this question all the time. Do you think Dak Prescott's going to be a top 5 quarterback in 5 years? Think about this for a minute. Okay? I'm going to write these numbers down. Dak's going to make $42 million, right? I believe he's the second highest paid quarterback that's in the NFL. Okay? $42 million today in 2021. Follow me when I tell you here. What do you think the salary cap's going to be in 5 years? 217 million. Maybe, potentially, you're going to see a windfall because the league is coming back. 220 million. What does that mean? Well, that means the market value for these quarterbacks are going to start touching $50 million. So the quarterback in 5 years from now, whose contract is up, maybe a Josh Allen in Buffalo, he may be looking at a $50 million a year deal. By the way, Cowboys touchdown, game's tied. Game's very competitive. Game is very competitive. So do you understand where I'm going here? It's not so much if Dak Prescott is worth the $42 million he's making. The market value of that position, Dak may not be even in the top 7 in 5 years. So he's not even going to be considered then in 5 years a top 5 guy because he won't be paid that. And if he hasn't produced and made a Super Bowl, they're not going to give him another contract extension. So in the end, did Jerry pay a little bit more than he needed? Probably. The guy, did he miss it? He missed the field goal. This kicker, fire this guy. Oh, man. Holy cow, man. Fire this guy. You got one job to do, dude. Holy dude. Man, you can't miss. You lose games like that when the point differential in the NFL is only 3 points. So back to Dak, though, a little bit. So the Dallas Cowboys may end up in the end getting a deal. And if Dak goes to a Super Bowl or an NFC championship game, you're going to get market value. I think what's happened with many of the media people, and me included, is that you look at that exorbitant number today and you go, $42 million? Do you know that Joe Montana, I think, never made over $2 million a year in his career ever? And so you're looking at that number and you're thinking too old school. The NFL salary cap and the revenue have gone up so much. And now with gambling being part of it, we got to get over the number. Honestly, okay? Because I can name 7 quarterbacks I could take over Dak. Now, here's something, though, that I will tell you. I'm watching him play tonight. He has gotten better every single year that I've seen him play since he's been a starting quarterback in Dallas. Then again, every year that he was a starter at Mississippi State, I kept saying this. Unbelievable. By the way, Trevor or anybody who's on my social media pages, did he not get Mississippi State one time to the number one team in the country? I could have swore that Dak Prescott led Mississippi State to the number one team in the country. Now, obviously, they didn't stay there long because they don't have the personnel on that staff. But I think when Dan Mullen was there, I think Mississippi State got to the number one team in the country or real close to it. I could swear that he had brought that team and elevated that team because he was playing such great football. Remember, he wasn't really thought of exceptionally high. What was he, a fourth-round draft choice? Okay, out of Mississippi State. And then you saw him in a preseason game against the Rams, and we all went like this. Holy cow, look at this guy. By the way, I just looked up again. Place is packed. It's just really great to see all the fans back at Raymond James. It really is wonderful to see all the superstar fans back there again. I'm so thankful to get the fans back in the building. You know, and you know what? Think about this for a second, too. The Buccaneers never got a chance a year ago to really have the GOAT pay off for them. You know what I mean? You couldn't have any fans in the stands last year, right? This is the first year you're seeing all the 12 jerseys. You're seeing all the fans see Brady in the building. You know, you're going to buy all the memorabilia. You're going to do everything. This is the first year of the Glazers, the owners of the Buccaneers. Brady just threw a pick. It bounced off of Fournette, and the Cowboys have a pick. And the Cowboys are stepping on the gas pedal here a little bit. I said a 38-10 blowout. Okay? The Bucs look, how about this? The Bucs look tight here a little bit. The Bucs look tight. Yeah, man. Diggs with the pick. That's a big-time turnover. Another red zone type turnover here. You're now in the 20. You stick this baby in the end zone here. I mean, you're talking 20-14. Well, if the guy makes the kick. That's a big deal here. And get this. So Dan Quinn comes over, and he's a new defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. And you know his guys are going to play fast. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And get this. The Bucs are playing a little bit tentative, and the Cowboys are playing with great energy right now. And it's because of Dakota Prescott. This guy's playing really good football tonight. Can he keep it up? Can this Cowboy team keep it up? It's going to be 60 minutes of football because you know anytime TB12 is on the field, this is going to be all about it here. You're going to have to play 60 minutes tonight. This Buccaneer team is not going to lose to the Cowboys in the opener. That's their mentality. That's what they're saying right now. So they got to get to him. Throw to the end zone. No touchdown. Was out of bounds. This is great. It's exactly how the league wants to start their night. You don't want to start it with a blowout. You don't want to start it with, you know what, too? There's no controversy. And here's something else that really just came into my mind now. You got a game like this, and then you know what you have on Saturday, right? You have September 11th. You have the NFL. You have all this euphoric, the fans in the stands, people cheering again, people celebrating our comeback of 20 years ago. And see, you know, my guy Chris he's been a little down because he's working on stuff when it, you know, as everybody is, on putting things together for September 11th. Yeah, how could you not feel sad? How could you not remember and have those moments hit you between the eyes and go, Jesus, man, I remember where I was. But then when you watch something like this, having football being played, fans being in the stands, we're with a pandemic. Saturday is an anniversary of a horrific moment in our country. I don't know. I don't look at things with the glass half full and think this, well, it's a negative. He made a field goal, so they kicked the field goal. 16-14. Cowboys now take the lead. That's a big deal for them. If I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm giving that claps too. He's going like this here. Thanks, Ken. I mean, that is a well-played first 2 quarters. And that's how the National Football League, in my opinion, wants to kick off their season. Want to kick off their season with a game where you're just getting blown out. Let me turn to a little bit more here with Brady. So I was on Brady's Twitter page, and he was talking about when the end is coming. He says he'll know when the end is coming. Do you step away from the game when you have still a little bit to play, or do you step away from the game when you have nothing else to give? When would you step away? How, if you're him with that resume, do you want to be a guy like Joe Namath or John Unitas or Peyton Manning? The ending wasn't very good for him, was it? You saw him laboring, throwing passes. Do you want to leave the game on a high note, or do you want them to have to carry your body off the field? What would you want? How would you want your career to end? You know what you'd have to do for me? You'd have to carry me off the field. You'd clearly have to carry me off the field because I'm going to play the game that I love as long as I can. Because if the game is about you making all the money in the world and all the fame in the world, you played it for the wrong reasons. Just like you do anything in your life. You do things because you love what you're doing. You have a passion for it. That's what's propelled that guy. I'm looking at it. Here's something Chris and I talked about. Yogi Berra, 10 World Series championships. Tom Brady, 7. Bill Russell with 11. Those 3 guys are the greatest team sport champions in American sports history. It's Yogi, it's Brady, and it's Russell. There's no other guys. There's no other guys. So we were talking about the greatest Yankees yesterday. Yogi's always in the top 5. Touchdown, Antonio Brown, unbelievable pass by Brady. Wow. 57 yards, 2 plays. Brady with a touchdown pass to AB. Hey, man, do me a favor, guys. Get over to podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones, earbuds, 25% off of everything that's on the website there. Gamers, this is your one-stop place. Please use the promo code Sileo. S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. Shipping is free. Okay? You can spend as much as $5 to $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That is podcasterwarehouse.com. I want to throw this at you too here, man. We're going to hit on this one. And to me, I think it's a big move. And maybe it's not a big deal. Or maybe it is. Tua Tagovailoa was not named team captain. Is it a deal or is it not a deal? Don't forget Mike Quick in hour number 2, part of the broadcast team of the Eagles. We're going to talk with him. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Good for you. Good. You're really not a fan of the NFL? Why? Oh, yeah. No, there is. Yeah, I don't even know who that is. Oh, yeah. Because they were electric players. Oh, yeah, those two guys respected one of them. Elway, Montana. Okay. Moon. Yeah, he's. Oh, yeah. You get a chance. So you get a chance to talk to Warren Moon and the Vice President of the United States. That's pretty good stuff, Chris. An Ice Cube. Right. Crazy. That's awesome. He probably loved that because it's the anniversary. This year was the anniversary of that movie. I know, right? Yeah, Singleton. No doubt. Oh, yeah. Chris O just said something in my ear. Thank you very much, Chris. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. He's right. A little bit of a shootout going on right now. How you doing? Very good. Okay. Yeah, it's a shootout, man. Buccaneers and Cowboys hanging right there. I thought this thing would be a little bit more on the Buck side, heavily, actually. And the Cowboys are right there. We'll see what happens over the next couple minutes here going into the half and then obviously the second half. And know this. The Florida heat does become a factor, and the humidity. And there's a lot of humidity in Tampa today. And if you haven't been practicing all that hard, you're lucky it's at night. Let me say this. If that was a 1 o'clock kick, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. And you've got the dark uniforms on. Hey, the sun likes that. Man, you melt like ice in a pan as fast as you can get it, man. That thing, it is. I tell my kid, I don't know how. My daughter plays in 120-degree weather, though, in Phoenix. She plays rugby there. Yeah, and so, like, she understands it, but she also lived in Florida for all them years with me, and she knows the humidity. So we'll keep an eye on this, man. It's really entertaining tonight. So we appreciate everybody being here with us. We got a bunch of people with us on our social media, too, and we thank you so much for adding to the show here. 2-minute warning. My boy Ken's giving it to us here. See Mike Tirico a little bit. So there'll be a little – I like that Drew Brees has joined the broadcast team, too, for NBC. I mean, you know, no disrespect to Tony Romo, but Drew Brees has won a Super Bowl. And he's the all-time leading passer in passing yards in the history of the league. I mean, I like listening to people who have accomplished those kind of things. And so I think him being added to the broadcast is really great because then you get insightful stuff. And believe me, Brees was a contemporary of Tom Brady's. So let me stick with the quarterback here. Let me ask you something here. Big deal or no deal? Almost every single quarterback in the NFL was named team captain this year. A couple rookies weren't. Okay? You think it's a big deal that Tua Tagovailoa wasn't named a team captain going into the second year? Do you think it matters? I'll tell you what Jimmy Johnson told me today. Jimmy said this to me. He goes, maybe he's just not one of the guys yet. My guy Ken just said, big deal. By the way, the humidity in Tampa is 84 degrees. 84%, excuse me. 90 degrees, 84%. How you doing? You going to sweat your baguettes off tonight, guys. Make sure you got IV bags ready. Chris, unless you can intravenously take that Gatorade, you need an IV. You're going to lose at least 20. If you're a big 300-pounder, you're going to lose at least 25 pounds today. I mean, I've lost 25 pounds in a game like this, okay? And it was also at night. My buddy Jerome Brown, we went up to Florida in Gainesville. He lost 33 pounds in 60 minutes of football. Oh, yeah. I played at the old sombrero. And back then, the old sombrero, Chris, they were those fanny warmers were like the aluminum siding seats. So the place would just elevate more with heat. Oh, my God, man. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, man. I told people that, hey, and back then when you went up to Gainesville, they played on AstroTurf. It got so hot. It was 127 degrees on the field. My feet started peeling. The skin on my bottom of my feet were peeling. And I was like, oh, my God, what is that? He goes, okay, well, you need to change your socks. I said, I don't think changing my socks is going to help. I was like, he goes, well, you might want to change your shoes too. It got so, hey, man, dude, man, these things are really, 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 really tough games. It's a very competitive game right now. This is great. Way to start it. Way to go, NFL. College football started great. The NFL is starting great. Fans are back in the stands again. Whew. Do I sound amped up? Chris goes, if you think being on crack is amped up, maybe. Don't forget, Mike Quick, part of the great broadcast team for the Eagles. He'll join us in hour number 2. We'll get his thoughts on what he thinks his football team is capable of doing this year. We'll reset. You keep it right here on the Sileo Show. Be right back. Damn good game. Thank you, brother. Got to keep running, man. You can't just stop like that. Run up the damn field, man. The quarterback is wanting you to go. That's a poor play by the back. Now, maybe he's thinking he's got to come back to Brady because Brady's in trouble with pressure, so that's all right. Both sides did. I think the Cowboys have really played well, even defensively. Even though giving up 21, dude, look who you're playing against. Now, what you don't want to do here is you don't want him to give up like any other points. That was a shitty throw by Brady. I think he's pressing. Bucks got the kickoff. With 6 seconds? Maybe. Yeah, and you're at the 50. Yeah, but you might get a pass interference if you whip it down the field here. Another pick. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. And how about me telling you Tom Brady has 2 interceptions in the first half of the opener for the National Football League's game between the Buccaneers and Cowboys? Okay. What do we got going on here? Potentially an upset? There wasn't a person on the planet who thought this game was going to be all that competitive by the time we got to the half. And it is. 21-16, Buccaneers have the lead. And we go into halftime. Way to go, man. I said this, and I'll say it again to you. When I see the city of Tampa and I see all the fans, and you got to know this too for me, it means a lot to me because I broadcast for 15 years of my 28 years in broadcasting in one place. It was in Tampa, Florida. And I saw some pretty bad football. Okay? And for a couple of years, I played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know what it means in that city when a football team is good and the football team are defending champions. It's craziness. 75,000 great fans. 75,000 great fans in the building tonight. It's wonderful. You know, I brought this up earlier too, and I'll say it again to you. And look, the one thing I don't want to do, and I told Chris, and I promised him that I would do this because you know why? People come here at night for one thing. You know what's funny? The other day, Chris goes like this. My back's hurting. I've been thinking about all the things that are coming up this weekend with 9/11, you know, all the stuff that's in Washington. We had a fun hour. We were talking about Hall of Fame. We were talking about Yankees. We were talking about baseball. We just had another spectacular hour. He's like, dude, that was good, man. I mean, it just reminds people of what a diversion can be. That's a fun diversion. A diversion that's ours, sports. Okay? This is not political here, but you're going to hear, you know what you're going to hear in the news cycle tomorrow? How these are going to be called. How long before you hear this? Well, these football games are super spreaders. 3, 2, 1, go. Even though we were promised from the CDC and the White House that if you got your 2 vaccinations, you didn't have to wear a mask outside for sure. And by the way, there's been no cases of people getting deathly ill, being outside and catching it. It's crazy. Why do I care then? If I'm outside in a stadium and I'm vaccinated, what is that to you? I'm just, how about this? I'm not following the science on it. I'm not following, because you know what? Maybe, and again, I'm not going to make this hour into a political hour here. I'm not going to do that. But maybe if Kamala Harris and Joe Biden didn't come out last year saying they'll never take those vaccinations, when the Trump administration was pushing them through, and all of a sudden now they're reversing course, and now they're talking about mandating, maybe people would believe you more. Okay? Maybe. If you didn't flip-flop on everything you're doing and saying, maybe people would believe you. You know how to get, you know how I get, I'm going to tell you a secret here. You know how I get my kid to do something that she doesn't want to do? I tell her the direct opposite. I tell her, you shouldn't get it. Well, Dad, maybe I did. Maybe I should. My daughter did get vaccinated, by the way. Maybe you shouldn't. She goes like this. Well, maybe I should. I don't know. And she did. You should be around the teammates all the time. You're out of college. I don't know, man. Just whatever, right? Play it safe. That's how I look at it. And she did it. Okay. So it was her prerogative. But the thing I heard today was, the thing was all over the place. And by the way, didn't it sound like an angry guy behind a microphone because he got his ass kicked in Afghanistan with his decision-making, that he's going to start doing all this stuff? I could have swore a year ago he swore to all Americans in the campaign that he would never have mandates. He lied on that one too now. Jen Psaki came out today and said they're going to talk mandate. You're like, what? Wait a minute. Everything no fracking. Oh, that guy lied about everything that got him elected. And you know why his poll numbers are dropping? I'll tell you why. Because the thing that made him endearing to Americans was the pandemic. He ain't doing a good job on that either, because nobody's really getting a straight answer. And so you know who's giving you the straight answer? The football fan. Last Saturday, I'm telling you, Blacksburg, Camp Randall, all the great stadiums that were packed tonight, you've got Raymond James. Americans, Republican and Democrat, know this. You think those stadiums are just filled with Republicans? Ask yourself this question tonight. Do me a favor just for a second. This will end any divisiveness in our country if you just ask yourself this question. When you look at the 75,000 fans in Tampa, you know this, the I-4 corridor, politically, it can go either way sometimes. Am I right? It could go Republican or Democrat, and usually the state of Florida is determined not by South Florida, but it's determined by the I-4 corridor, isn't it? Orlando, Tampa, St. Petersburg. Am I right? We all know this. That state is determined by that corridor. I broadcast in that. I know it can be Republican and Democrat. And it can flip. When you look at that stadium, I'm looking behind Drew Brees' shoulder right now. By the way, Brees looks like he's lost a ton of weight. I don't even recognize him. He looks great. I'm looking at the stands in the background. You think those are all Trump Republicans back there? With no mask on? You think every one of those 75,000 fans in that stadium are Republican Trump guys? Or do you think maybe there's half the building is Democrats? So who are the politicians talking to? Half that stadium are Democrats. I know that. I told you. I broadcast there for 15 years. I know who they are. I know what they stand for. How can the President of the United States come out and attack 80 million Americans when you're attacking everybody in that stadium then. Everyone in that stadium. Because here, even if you've been vaccinated, he's telling you to wear a mask. Wait, I thought that was taken care of with the two vaccines. Oh, no, so we're different there. And then the unvaccinated, they're obviously attacking. And you're admitting that your shots don't work, or you need 48 boosters. My point is that these sports fans, like, how about when you were at Doak Campbell last weekend? Tallahassee is one of the biggest Democratic areas in the state of Florida. Tallahassee. You think that's a Republican area? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You had 78,000 fans in there. You think those were all Trump Democrats? Or Trump Republicans, I mean? The football fan is speaking to us. The football fan is the American public. A football stadium is the American public. Am I wrong when I say that? When you go into a game, me and Chris O could go into a football game. Our ideologies are pretty much down the same line. We like the best dude in the room. That's who we want. Little subtle differences, but not a lot. Okay, little subtle differences. But, okay, I mean, we don't give a crap who. You know what Chris told me? He goes, hey, hockey's starting real soon. Okay? Hockey's starting soon. The NHL is not mandating vaccinations for their league, which is unreal. Or, Chris, am I right? Is it just the Vegas Golden Knights are not doing that, or is that the entire NHL? I want to make sure I get that right because I'm not sure on that. Is it the NHL that's not mandating it, or is it just the Knights that aren't going to mandate it? Because the Raiders are mandating that. So I'm not dead sure on that. So I just know this, that maybe it's up to the particular teams whether or not they're going to do this. So I'm just so happy football's back. I'm jacked up. By the way, bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to one of our friends, Mike Quick. Mike is part of the broadcast team for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Mike was a hell of a football player for that organization. And he works with Merrill Reese. They do such a great job. They play the Atlanta Falcons this weekend. I don't know what to expect from this Eagles team. There's going to be quite a storyline that's going to be written this year when it comes to the NFC East this year. Cowboys, they look awful good tonight. Better than I thought they were going to look. What's Washington going to look like? I'll tell you something else, too. You know, I watched a lot of my wife made this comment, and my wife doesn't really watch a lot of exhibition football, but she said these games have been very competitive and very entertaining. And she was right. And it's kind of carried over a little bit into at least this game here. Will that carry over to the rest of the games this weekend? We'll see, bud. If this is any indication, this is damn good. Brady's playing in his 300th game tonight. Yeah, play action reel goes like this. Your wife is smart. Dude. Hey, play action. My wife is the smartest person in the room. Trust me. Okay? I think my real name is called Dope or something, whatever, you know, whatever adjective she likes to throw at me, or maybe fill up the water bottles or something like that. Steven says Florida is speaking. The parties are what matters. The candidate represents the ideology and the agenda of the party and the Democrats, and they are more into socialism. I don't know about Florida doing that. Okay? You really think Florida's into socialism, especially in South Florida, after all of those people came over from Cuba? They're into socialism? I don't think so. Why do you think Trump won the state of Florida in the election? Because Biden started acting and talking like that. You think you're going to get anti-Castro people voting for him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And there's a lot of Cuban Americans in the Ybor City area and around Tampa. Trust me when I tell you, that is the farthest thing from the truth. You could bring up Adolf Hitler's name, And if you make a mistake or something, you bring up Fidel Castro's name in the state of Florida. Ozzie Guillen, who was the manager of the Marlins, started barking about Chavaret. I'm trying to think. What was he? He was thinking of. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I think it was Castro. He was talking about Castro. And as soon as he brought up something, hey, man, that was the end of him as a Florida Marlin manager. Okay. Really entertaining ball game. Really entertaining game. Want to hit up Dakota Smith? We'll do it next. Keep it on the Sileo Show. Well, Dak is 23 of 32. He's going to throw the ball for 600 yards. Sure. Hey, is that full 16? Great. Leg cramps. Humidity's high, man. Take his helmet off at least. Oh my God, Skull Island's the humidity's out of the hand. Oh yes. No. No, you get immediately released. Oh, right. No, you're thrown into the pit. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Mike Quick's going to join us here in a couple minutes. Fans in the stands. I've determined CNN hates football. Or maybe they hate the football fans. I don't know. Look at this place. Even Anthony Fauci was dogging on college football. I guess he's dogging on the NFL. Now, I do think some stadiums around the NFL are going to do some places are going to do mandatory vaccination cards and stuff. Okay. I think Buffalo's going to do it. I think the Raiders are doing it too. I think the 49ers may be doing it. So whatever. I don't really care. You know what? I don't really care about that story. I really don't. I just don't. I just care that American sports fans are having a fantastic time. Let me hit on Dak here a little bit. Dak Prescott hasn't played football since October 11th of 2020. Horrific injury. And by the way, Ndamukong Suh just knocked him on his ass. If that were me and I were the defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, I would tell my guys to put a hat on him every single chance I got to put a hat on him because he has not been hit a lot. You know he hasn't been hit in practice. They've been monitoring him. And I'll tell you something. They're doing a hell of a job right now with him. Okay? They are doing a hell of a job with him. And I'm talking the Buccaneers. They're getting enough in the running game. By the way, I think he was like 23 of 33 or something like that for 223 yards. This guy's on pace right now to throw for 500 yards in this game against a very good Buck team that stopped Patrick Mahomes just a few months ago. So like I said, if you're the Cowboys, look, there's no victory in losses. Okay? But to me, you being in the game, you're 5 down, and you're playing in Tampa on the road with the humidity being the way it is, I got to tell you, I'm feeling pretty good here. They're moving the chains, man. They are moving the chains. And Dak looks, I'll tell you this, Dak looks better than he did even in those first couple games last year. You know, I think this has got to play a factor too. I mean, he's completing passes, and his wide receiving core is playing great football right now. They really are. They're getting enough in the running game. Like I said, Zeke is giving them enough. They're moving the sticks. This could be a fourth quarter game. I said 38-10. I really did believe that the Cowboys were going to – and you know what the Cowboys did? They kind of maybe Lou Holtz me a little bit. Because Jerry's going, hey, man, it's David versus Goliath. You know, I don't know if we're going to be able to hang. Because that's what Lou Holtz used to do all the time. Lou used to do this. I just don't know how we're going to beat the Miami Hurricanes. I just don't know how we're going to do it. These guys are – Lou, you're undefeated. I mean, we'd go into those games, and Notre Dame would be – Lou, you're undefeated. You make yourself sound like you're a 3-9 team. You're undefeated. No, you just don't know how we're going to be this kind of good. I mean, have a question asked to me here. Play Action Real says, Dan, do you think Dallas wins championships like I still do? They put performances up like they're playing right now. And I'll tell you this, they're playing pretty good defense right now. I tell you, they got the Buccaneer defense on their heels. And that secondary is on their heels. A lot of PI calls against the Buccaneers. And now Bruce Arians is starting to get in there. And another pass interference against the Buccaneers secondary. Tell you what, I personally think the Bucs defense is being a little bit shocked right now by the play of the Bucs. Hey, by the way, this goes out to my friends in Phoenix. Get to your Valley Hooters. Great place for all your fantasy football. Great beer specials. $3 Michelob Ultra. You're going to love it. It's your place. Get to your Valley Hooters. We have Mike Quick coming up next from the Eagles. Keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. I'll be right back, brother. I'll see you. Got you, man. Bye. Be right back. Be right back. Good call. Oh man, that humidity, you can see it starting to drain these guys, both sides. But it favors the Bucks because you practice in it and you live in it. Look at the red faces on the Cowboys. The center's got one of them Irishman faces. You're welcome. There's old Mike McCarthy. And there's the play caller. That's why the Cowboys suck. Name me one Irishman coach in the history of the NFL that was good. Yeah, okay. Belichick is Armenian, believe it or not. I know you. Shut up. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Thank you, Mike Quick. Just going to put it out there. Rob Gronkowski's the greatest tight end that's ever lived. I've never seen a player in NFL history at that position dominate games the way he does. This guy's got wide receiver hands, and he's 6'7", and he can block like an offensive tackle. I mean, the difference in the league between my day, and funny, Chris O was talking about how the NFL had really great running backs back in my time, like Eric Dickerson and Peyton and all those great backs that ran, Barry Sanders and Emmett and them guys. And he's right, they were. But the position that has become a dominant position today, and if you have a dominant guy at that position, take a look at this. Rob Gronkowski. I mean, he's been with Brady for many of these championship runs. Travis Kelce in Kansas City. The kid Kittle in San Francisco. Go down the list of all the great tight ends we have in the game today. They're game-changing position players. They're these new type of guys that are these big dudes that can move, that can run, that can do all the things that the old school tight ends like say. Let me throw this at you. Like, remember Mark Bavaro, who played for the New York Giants? That was a different type of tight end. He didn't really have a lot of pass catching statistics. He was very good at it. And he's probably the only wide receiver you can name during those giant championship runs. I know you can't name another wideout. And it was Bavaro. But Mark was huge in the run game. Those guys had to be dominant guys at the point of attack. Gronkowski's both. And he shows you how athletic he is. By the way, I got to tell you something. I have been exceptionally impressed with Dak Prescott tonight. Here's a kid that's coming off of a major injury, major surgery. And most guys, now again, this shows you also the technology that we have in today's sports world. An injury like that 20 years ago would take you until the middle of the season this year if you were hurt last year to come back from something like that. So know this, it's a tremendous, deal that you're able to come back and look like that as fast as you are. Dak and Zeke are really, I'm telling you, if you're Cowboy fans, you've got to take a little bit away from this game tonight going like this. We're really in this ball game, okay? They're playing hard. They're in the game. Just saying, the way I'm looking at it. By the way, I mean, I've said this before about Tom Brady. I don't know about you, but is Tom Brady like aging in reverse or something? This guy's drinking from the fountain of like middle age or something. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's 44 years of age. He looks younger than he did when he first came into the league. By the way, Dak just threw a touchdown pass on the Bucks. Touchdown Cowboys. It's now 25-28. If I am the Cowboys, I go for 2 here to make it 27-28. I'm telling you, man, Dak looks exceptional. He looks as good as I've ever seen. And they even, in my opinion, the Buccaneers were holding. This guy, CeeDee Lamb, has destroyed the Cowboys' momentum. He's dropped a crap load of passes tonight. But this kid, Cooper, is keeping them in it. Like I said, I thought this game was going to be a 38-10 game. It's right now, they're going for the extra point. And, I mean, he almost missed it again. It's 28-26. It's pretty good, man. Pretty entertaining. And again, it just shows you, too, that Dak is – I said this a couple weeks ago to you guys. Dak is one of these quarterbacks that is getting better and better and better. I told you a story about Dan Mullen, who said that when he got him as a high school prospect, he said he couldn't believe that when he saw him again, the improvement. Then when he got him in his program, he couldn't believe the advancement. Same thing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys go, I can't believe the improvement that we're seeing. So, heck of a game for the NFL to get out of the gate in. Packed houses. Don't let anybody tell you that the NFL fans and college football fans aren't leading us back out of this pandemic, because they absolutely are. I think it's fabulous. Packed houses. Wait till this weekend when you see all the great fans that are going to be in the building. All right. I want to hit on some more NFL news. We'll reset, and you keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Puma. I told you about that stupid Puma, dude. Puma bugs me.